Peace, King. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Man, I want to thank you for coming on the platform. It's definitely an honor. I really appreciate you.
Oh man, I appreciate you for having me, bro. Got to stay
Oh yeah,
visible the
no,
best you can, right?
I can dig it. I can dig it. Man,
Mm.
for the viewers who may not recognize you or know who you are, let them know, what your name is and definitely where you from.
Well, my name is Frank Nitt. Detroit City is where I'm from. One half of the group, Frank and Dank. One third of the group, the Yancey Boys, and many other things, as well as a solo artist, producer, MC, uh, uh, behind the scenes guy. It's a whole bunch of titles that go with it, but yeah, Frank Nitt.
That's what's up, man. Big shout out to the D, man, for sure, for
Yep.
sure. Always representing, you know what I'm saying? Y'all done produce some of the most creative and innovative, musicians and people and authors and you know what I'm saying? A lot of game and
Yeah.
a lot of influence come from up that way.
Yeah, man. Detroit's a unique place, bro. It's a it's a working man city, but it's really, really flashy. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's a special place, man. It's a special place.
Yeah, definitely, man. I know because let me see, Donald Goins from Detroit. Y'all got
Mm.
M. I got Dilla. You got some special people. Winston Willis from Detroit. I'm from Cleveland,
Yeah.
so
Oh, so
we
you right up the way. You sister
yeah.
city almost, all right?
Right, right. We got
Mm-hmm.
cousins and family up there, and I always enjoy going up to the D. And like you say, y'all flashy, man. We used to go up there. This was probably like in the early 2000s. They got on minks and gators and suits, cars
Yes,
decked
sir.
out. They got the
Yes, sir.
Cartiers on, the glasses.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's I don't know. Again, Detroit's a kind of a I don't know. It feel like it should be down south or something. Just the way it operates and just the soul of the people and man, again, it's just special. I mean, because you have both sides of the coin. You have the factory working 6 days a week, 8 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? And that type of grind and that type of hustle that Detroiters have because they see it all their life, right? But then you also again have minks and gators and things that is not necessarily connected to like going to work every day. You feel what I'm saying? And that can be the same person. The same guy you seeing going to the factory 6 days a week on Sunday, he out there with his whip with the shine on and it's a whole nother guy that you wouldn't think grinds that way. You feel what I'm saying? So Detroit breeds a special type of individual, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I was just checking out that BMF, man. They got some
Yeah.
hustlers too. Yeah, like you say, Detroit is definitely. I think feel like it's overlooked and underrated a lot of times, but it's definitely an epitome of blackness in America, man. It
Oh yeah. It
represents.
is it is definitely a black city. You know what I'm saying? Like it's this music thing allowed me to travel and see a lot of the world and a lot of America and be out amongst different people and different uh just neighborhoods and even dealing with other black people that didn't grow up like me. Like, the things that are I'm used to seeing the mailman is black, the dude who work on the light pole is black, the lawn care guy is black, the judge, the cop, the everybody's black. That's how I grew up, right?
Right.
And then I talk to people that didn't grow up like that, like especially black folk. They was nah, you know what I'm saying? Like my mother even says, like when she moved here, because she was in Pennsylvania. When she moved here, it was like culture shock because all the people working were black. Where she grew up, the mailman was a white guy. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't so black really. so
hmm
it's crazy because that's how I grew up. But then I spent time all over the world in Asia and the Middle East and all these different places. So uh yeah, no, Detroit is one of a kind, at least from my point of view, and I guess from a Detroiter's point of view as well. But yeah, it's special.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Now I want to ask you, by you, coming from Detroit. How did you
Hmm.
get exposed to hip hop? You know, was it something you seen on the TV? Was it something you heard on the radio, or was it already something that was taking place in the community at that time?
Well, let me start. My both my brothers were drummers, right? So as a young kid, we had live bands. My mother allowed them to rehearse in the house, and they had full drums, keys, singers, guitars, bass, the whole band in the basement, right? So that's what it started with for me. Uh, Hip hop became something that everybody could see around '79, right? And I was 5 years old. Uh, So that was the music for me, right? So I picked that, and it started with breakdancing. It started with breakdancing, and I used to live in a neighborhood, well, in Southwest Detroit, and at the time that was like known for where the Spanish folk lived, right? Like that was where uh, Spanish town was, Mexican town was, right? And most of the people, because I mean, from what I know, and again, I'm a kid, so it's kind of limited, but that's where the Spanish folks was, right? So my family moved there, and I ended up getting a Spanish homeboy that was older than me from New York, and he was a breakdancer, and they had a breakdancing crew, and I became part of the crew, and that's like when I was 10, 11 years old, right? So hip hop was really that for me, and then Beat Street and the different movies at the time, called Crush Groove, and different things that were hip hop, where my parents didn't understand it, and my brothers, it was cool, but they were more into the soul and R&B because that was what was prominent for them. So this was kind of my thing, right? And I had, big linoleum sheets so I could practice my moves in the basement. It was serious for me, right? And then when I moved into the neighborhood that I met Dilla and the guys, it was Dilla who introduced me to DJing, and then that took it to the next level, right? And then eventually, he said, "Hey, I'm doing these beats," and I said, "Hey, I'm not DJing no more. I'm gonna do these raps," and that's how that kind of took off. But hip hop, I was kind of caught up in it very early, like before I met Dilla and the guys and all that. When I was 4, 5, 6 years old, I started dancing and break dancing and that type of thing. So it's kind of always been there for me.